After you download the zip, you want to unzip it. Some machines will need to install this Windows Visual C++ redistributable file. I've already installed it, so I don't need to install it, but you just want to click agree, double click, and install it like that. I'm going to close that. And then there's this start llama file, which we'll want to start first. This will download llama CPP and host open source models on your machine that run locally. Well, not necessarily open source, just Hugging Face models. And you can see that it's ready there, so you can actually click it. And there's a chat version here that you can test. So let me see if I can test. Cool, fishing boat. Cool. Nice. And then there's another version of this that is on port 8000. So it's port 8080 hosts a visual model. Port 8000 hosts a slightly smarter text chat model. And that just takes a little bit longer to load. And then port 5000 hosts a live mode after restart cheatlayer. So let's now start cheatlayer. Double click the cheatlayer.exe and give it a minute to load. The first time it might take a little bit longer because it might have to download some things. And so it's no longer going to ask for a key. So the biggest thing about the latest update is it's running entirely local models and using agents to build on those local models using our Semantic Targets algorithm, which we invented as well. So Magic Scraper, Magic Clicker, all these things are running. And once you open cheatlayer, you'll have this live mode version 2, which you'll see in the video later attached to this video how to use it. But basically, it allows you to edit the front end and back end using Claude 3.7 for a series of servers that you host locally on your machine. So there's some examples in here of basically templates of adding Stripe subscriptions, creating user accounts, games, things like that. And you can follow along the tutorial at the end of this video to build your own, basically anything. And it's more flexible than tools like Bootcamp or Lovable or Replit because it doesn't make a decision for you on the back end. You basically can build any back end since you're hosting it on your machine. It's 100% free since it's local and offline. That's true with these other model servers that are now running locally on your machine. These are 100% free, unlimited models that are using your CPU, using Llama CPP. So you can basically build unlimited agents now and run them without having to worry about running out of credits or anything like that. I recommend using your OpenRouter key to edit the server faster, basically, but you can use the open models as well. That's fine. So, and then the main features in OpenAgent Studio are clicking, scraping, opening programs, and writing text. Let's try. Let me show you an example of how the latest algorithm works, for example, with the Magic Clicker. Okay. So the Semantic Targets algorithm was an algorithm that we actually invented a year before ChatGPT. We built our own multimodal model to track UI elements on the screen and make a decision once by calculating the probability that it matches the intent of your next step. Now, see if you look in the top left-hand corner, we created a new algorithm. So this is maybe version 2 of the algorithm that is able to run on low and smaller parameter models, because we actually go into every single element and make a comparison. And that comparison is robust enough in the smaller models that we can invent a new version of the algorithm that we invented, and several startups ended up adopting, that actually works on free, unlimited, open, local models like small VLM and Lava. And so we've distributed this version that seems to work on even like simple laptops. And so what it's doing here is actually, maybe I can bring in, let's see. You can see it's actually describing every single element on the screen in the top left-hand corner. See, there's a description of everything. And it makes a more robust calculation comparison now. See, it says that's the sign up now button that I want to click, actually. And then at the end of describing all of them, it makes a decision based, using the smarter model, a decision of which one to click based on the descriptions, basically. So this combination of smarters and cheaper visual models and breaking things down has allowed us to basically create 100% free computer use, agent, no-code platform where you don't have to pay $200 a month, maybe for Manus or some of those other tools. And it's actually more accurate.
Recording. Looks like we're okay. All right. So in class 1, we're kind of ramping up with people with, like, I understand people have various different backgrounds, and it's totally okay, actually. We should be all at the same level playing field at the end of the course, which is really exciting because some of the things we're teaching, even in this class, are like bleeding edge things that I'm just learning, are like my latest new toys and things. And so these are like even my latest new tools. So a few of the ideas, if you forgot, is these are just like actually general software engineering best practices, but they apply in vibe coding. So you want to add features step by step. You don't want to like try to do too much at once. Eventually, the models currently will run out of context. Even like the largest 1 million context windows don't really reach that high. So what you'll have to do is scope out piecewise updates, and there's a few tricks to doing that, like adding like drop-in updates to code and things like that. There's a version control that's built into the Chrome extension. The Chrome extension has a few cool new updates, but I think today's updates are just so ridiculous that it like makes the Chrome extension actually feel like a toy. It's kind of funny. So in the Chrome extension, the latest version, maybe I can show you it. It basically, if there's any errors on the page, it actually automates picking out errors and then putting them into the chat for you. And the next update after that even automates like sending to fix the errors, so it can like fix itself and also take screenshots of the page to like iterate until it looks correct. So I think that's pretty useful. We can automate doing that on like a God mode or something where there's no limits and it kind of fixes itself. So that's pretty cool. But today's updates with OpenAgent Studio are just so ridiculous that you might not use the Chrome extension. So the Chrome extension is useful for rapid prototyping. I still use it constantly because you can go to any of your websites and add features just like by opening the extension on the website. So it's very useful for, that's how we add features so quickly. I have a list of literally product-led growth experiments that we just go down and generate from our website. And then like version control, like basically it's if it ever goes off the rails, the trick is to go back to the last working version and then add a feature from that. Okay, cool. So why is today so exciting? Oh yeah, let me go over maybe the homework like submissions from week 1 really quickly. So last week we had a homework assignment where some of these are fun. Hold on. This one's cool. Where we asked you to generate a game using webcam and AI if possible, or whatever, just to make it fun. And so this one's pretty fun actually. It's like really smooth and things. Jan submitted this one. I'll go through a few of them. Beat submitted this one. I think it's like a, oh yeah, this is like a photo editor. Yeah, it has lots of cool little options and it actually does do stuff. See, it's a little bit brighter, I guess. But okay, so this is pretty cool. And then a mimic challenge and slap fighter. Okay, so oh, this one is also pretty good. Like a memory match. This one's really nice looking. Also probably useful. Yeah. So there were a bunch of them that were pretty fun. Um, we're just gonna say I really like this one. I think it was pretty like innovative and fun and kind of easy to use and things. And so this one wins. Okay. So Jan wins an agent to grow their brand. On Agent Space, we'll send you an email. We'll have another competition for this after today's class. So, but like this one opens up the possibilities by a lot. So it might be very interesting to see what happens. So, um, okay. So why is today so exciting? Okay. So, right. Like I had like a interesting like deja vu moment this morning when I was like looking at the slides. Oh yeah, let me share the slides. Hold on. Okay, here are the slides. Because I remember working on slides for like Bootcamp 3 and thinking about like one of the copy for one of the slides was that one day, like maybe 2 years from now, I think that was exactly what we said. Um, the models would be good enough to generate like entire services. But back then, the context limits were like 8K or 2K tokens and things like that. Now we're working with like 200K or 1 million tokens and things. So it's much more like the possibilities keep increasing as we get. It's similar to like how memory increased from like kilobytes to gigabytes and things like that. So basically, we had this idea that one day these models would get so good that you could generate all software basically for free, locally, with custom features for free, with unlimited, no limits. And since the services don't have time to build these features anyway for each customer, it might even be like a better product because it would generate like custom features just for you. And if that like if that happened, then you would probably want to host like a bunch of services for yourself, maybe even completely offline. And we could build that kind of functionality into live mode. And so we had this live mode thing that built websites. And so we tried to build it, but the models weren't really good enough until maybe today. So what we've released today is an update to OpenAgent Studio. It's live right now. You can get it on Linux and Mac. Sorry, on Linux and Windows. Mac is coming soon. So if you want to download it, you can go to OpenAgent Studio, I think. I think this is correct. Yeah, this is the Windows download on OpenAgent.studio, and the Linux download. Let me get the Linux download. Is on cheatlayer.com. If you log in, yeah, here's the Linux download. Let me copy both links and then I can put them in the chat too. They come with some pre-installed templates that are fun. And we'll be able to release like cool templates as well in the future. Copy the Windows version. So what I linked just now is the Linux version, and this is the Windows version. So to install them, unzip them. There's no longer any key. So in Windows, run the executable, and it will open up an editor. Oh, the first time you open it in Windows, you have to click more info and then allow anyway, because we're not in the Windows App Store. And then yes when it asks for like permissions and things. And then it'll open up an editor. And then in your browser, go to this this location. So it's an IP address. It'll show up in your terminal and like on the Windows, but you can go to this IP address in your browser and you'll see like a management dashboard if it worked. If it didn't work, there might be like some network issues or something. We can look at that, but it should work for most people. Same thing on that also works on Linux, that IP address. So in Linux, you just same thing. You unzip it and you just run it. I don't know. There might be more issues on Linux actually. I don't know, but we'll go through them. Maybe at the end of the call, I can go through like setting up on a cloud Linux thing, and if we have time, yeah. So okay. So why is this so exciting again? So we finally have basically what we thought we would have in 2 years. 2 years later, and so we have this thing that. So what we just shipped, OpenAgent Studio 2.0, runs all of our agentic functions for automation, like magic clicking and scraping and generating text and things, using 100% free local models with Gemma 3 4 billion and Llama CPP. And so we might test a few other models, but this actually does work well. And it's even faster sometimes because the latency is like instant since it's on your machine, depending on how powerful your machine is. So that's kind of fun. That image on the right was generated locally, but if you download the latest version, I can go through in a minute. You can like generate text. You can describe what's on the screen. But the really more exciting thing is it ships with Live Mode 2.0. So with OpenAgent Studio, it's this no-code agent builder that it has everything you need to actually automate any process manually. It's how we built agent space. So we built production grade products with it. People are testing it for highly valuable agent processes and things like that. But they have these like semantic tools that we invented called Semantic Targets with Magic Clicker and Magic Scraper. And there's also Magic Writer. So you can say something like, so previously, we would run this on our servers. And actually last year, we predicted that this would happen, that eventually we would run it for free anyway. And so what we did was we just upgraded everyone to unlimited. Oh, see in the top right corner? Why don't dogs make good comedians? Because, okay, I'll have to see that, but hold on, let me scroll down to the logs. Okay, so see what's happening here? What it actually did was, when I ran that, it downloaded the latest Llama model and ran it on the CPU. So this is actually running on a CPU. It's pretty fast. And ran even faster than if we had, so it generated this text joke about dogs. But it ran even faster than if we had used the OpenAI model from 2 years ago. And the quality is better. So it's funny. It's pretty cool. So we kind of predicted this would happen 2 years ago. That's pretty exciting. So this is now, so that's why when you run OpenAgent Studio now, there's no key. It's 100% free. You don't need any key to run it. You can download it on Linux, soon Mac, now Windows, and build and run unlimited agents across all your machines without credits, limitations, and execution. Right now, the limitations is now more interesting things like compute. Like now you can do calculations on how many agents you can fit, which we've been doing for the past year, into like a CPU and GPU, and possibly extract a lot more value that way. I don't know. But there's really cool things that I think what's more interesting about this is like when people stop thinking about credits, they're more they experiment more and they're willing to test more and without and they discover things more and stuff like that. Because a lot of the times, a lot of the good solutions we found in older models took like 26 prompts to get there. So now you can it doesn't really matter. You can actually tell it to loop and generate 26 outputs for you, and it's completely free and you don't have to worry about that. So that's exciting. So yeah, it also does this for like things like the magic scraper, the magic clicker, and maybe if we have time, we can build a whole agent at the end. But the more interesting thing is this now also ships with something called Live Mode 2.0. So Live Mode 2.0 is, let's see, am I on the right one yet? 1, 7. This thing that we were talking about like 2 years ago that would basically be possible one day, that eventually you would have this service that, oh, someone else is join. Hold on. Hey, how's it going, Clint? So yeah, so we're just going over what's OpenAgent Studio 2.0. It's you can download it on Windows today, and I can send you the recording. But basically, the exciting thing is what we just revealed is it's running 100% free local models, including on your CPU. And I've tested it on even like low-end CPUs. It seems to work. It just takes a little bit longer. So it's pretty cool. So now 100% free, unlimited agents, including things like the magic clicker, scraper, generating text. But also the really exciting thing that I'm probably going to spend a lot more time on today, and maybe next class we can spend more time on agents and things, is there's this live mode 2.0 basically. So live mode 2.0 allows you to host unlimited services locally. And let's maybe talk about why this is exciting for me. So, like in my first startup, it was like a research startup, and I didn't really know how to like build servers or websites and things like that. I mean, it's not that hard, but I didn't really know. I thought it was this like hard thing. And in in university, they teach you more like algorithms and things. And so it was actually hard for like years for me to figure out how to like set up like authentication and Stripe billing and all that stuff. And I eventually got my own templates that worked, and then I just started copying those, and so that worked out. But even that was like clunky because when we started, excuse me, when we started getting AI tools, I couldn't easily apply them to our backends because our backends were like all these servers glued together, and if I like plugged that code into like an AI tool, it would usually get something wrong about like a version of Node.js or something and break it. And so basically the models weren't good enough yet. And the dream was one day OpenAgent Studio would be this like tool where we would be able to like edit the back end and the front end. Oh, sorry, someone's. So, hey, Reed, how's it going? So, basically, when we first launched OpenAgent Studio, we had this little live mode in it that could generate the back end and the front end, but it wasn't really, the models then weren't really that good enough to do it well. And they would work maybe like 1/4 of the time. So 3/4 of the time they would fail. And so, like, until now, it wasn't possible to do what we released today. So this is now available. Oh wait, a bunch of more people just joined. on Windows and Linux and Mac soon. And it realizes this vision that now you can host basically unlimited services locally, offline, even if you wanted to. You can generate the code for them using the top models like Claude 3.7, which is really fun because I this is fun for me too because like up until now I would have to piecewise like plug in code and hope it got like the dependencies correct in the back end and stuff like that. So there wasn't really a good, useful, or easy tool for me to both edit the back end and front end and have it work reliably. So now we have this system that hosts basically both the back end and the front end on your machine. So it works even on Windows or Linux. And so this allows you to host websites locally on your machine just by like talking. And I'll walk through this like an example really quickly soon. Like that's what we're doing next. But it took something that took me years to figure out basically. And now you're going to learn how to do it in like minutes. It's really exciting too. And so you can edit really complex things too because we're using Claude 3.7 here. But for now, we'll probably like switch to 4.0 when it's stable. And actually, I have access to 4.0. So one thing you can do is if you have access to 4.0, you can just like copy paste your code in and out and then paste it back in and save it and update it and like get the advantages whatever model you want to use basically. And yeah, I'll share my key in a second so you guys can try 3.7, which is really exciting because instead of like working 1/4 of the time, it works 100% of the time. Like I mean, it works 100% of the time. Maybe it doesn't get exactly what you want, but it does like really cool things, like first shot. And now I can actually edit our entire backends now. So I'm probably going to build my next product using this. Yeah. And 4.0 just released too, which is really good. I can't really tell the difference, but it seems pretty good. The main difference, it's just harder to use for me because it has this, it's like limit. But um, my point is basically now even like non-technical people can keep host like whatever unlimited amount of services that clone all the most expensive business software, allow you to host your own websites. You didn't really need to pay for hosting websites. This is just something that just like kind of people convinced you that you needed to do. But you could have hosted most of like smaller websites off like on your laptops if you wanted to, instead of like port forwarding and things like that through your routers. And for most businesses, like before you even like get the bandwidth, you don't really need the cloud. And but it's like this huge boom and things. So I think what will happen is since local models will be completely offline and really powerful soon, people will start to favor like custom, even like completely on the fly software and things like that. So we're going towards that, but this is really exciting. So okay, let's maybe I'll show you guys how to set it up, and then we'll go over some cool examples of stuff that's already done. So if you have the latest version, if you download the latest version of the links that I've sent in the chat, I'll send them again. So you can get the Windows version at openagent.studio and the Linux version at cheatlayer.com under OpenAgent Studio is the Linux version. I'll paste them in the chat. It comes with these templates that I'm using today. So it comes with some stuff you can edit or add features to. But basically think of it like an array of services that you can now like iterate in any direction you want and like build whatever you want, clone services, host websites, even host agents and AI tools to sell. And the sky's the like your imagination's I guess the limit because if you have like a GPU in your machine, you can even like train AI models. You can ask it, it can generate custom Python code to do almost anything. So Claude 3.7 is really powerful. And you can like train custom AI models and like host AI models and like I add Stripe subscriptions was one easy thing that you can do. You just like layer in features like this, like you're talking to someone. And it's like the kind of the dream like we had that we thought was maybe possible one day. And I've been testing it for like the last day or so, and it's basically what we were dreaming of. It's that's how exciting it is. Yeah. So to install it, download one of these zip files that I'm gonna paste in the chat. Let me see. Yeah, I pasted that one. Yeah, you can pull and modify Git repos. Yep. You can even generate custom Git API code because you can give it your Git token and tell it to do cool things with your Git history and stuff. I had it like generate a local file system for cloning repos and things. That was kind of fun. Okay, so let me copy the other one, the Linux version, so you don't have to go anywhere. You can get it right here in the chat, and I can also put in the slides that I shared. Let's put that again in the chat. So. And the other version. Okay, so download these, and I'm on. Well, I can show you the Linux version. So to start the Linux version, you'll have a main.zip. You want to unzip that. So then you'll have a main, and you'll have like the agent server and server. So if you look in the servers folder, these are templates that you can edit. And then so you just basically run that executable main in Linux /main basically, and then it'll run in that folder, and then it'll open up with this editor basically. Okay, so that you can test the editor out, and we'll go deeper on the editor and things like that. One of the more powerful features in the editor is the custom code section. So like most of our agents now are just prompted actually, and code, interestingly, it can fill in the gaps between no code tools. So there are certain things that are impossible in code, or just really hard. I mean, no code, or just really hard in no code. And so with code, you can do things like train custom ML models and host them, like anything basically. You can prompt it to do almost anything. So what we've noticed recently is this like kind of prompting node ends up being like, as we iterate towards product market fit, ends up being what we use because it can, for example, now it runs all the agent space backend. So I can maybe bring up one of them. the entire agents-based service is run on OpenAgent Studio, and just like this node, like it's like a lot of Python code, but we didn't write any of it. And it's like most of the content generation stuff. We used to use this for posting, but now it does a lot of the content generation stuff in the cloud because it's just really slow otherwise. So we post this to real phones, but all of this was built using OpenAgent Studio and this node. So my point is that like a lot of this is now prompted, and because it's all prompted and we're using 100% free models, you can now experiment with this and build like unlimited exciting things. Okay, and so one of the more exciting things that I'm really excited about is this. So once you install it and run it in either Windows or Linux, then open this link in your browser. So go to this 127. This works either Windows, Mac, or Linux. It's the same address. It's basically your local address. Post thing. And this is like your management server for your new live mode 2.0. So what this does, it sets up 10 servers. We'll have the ability to keep adding like unlimited servers. You can actually have unlimited services hosted locally on your machine, and it didn't need to cost you anything. And now they can even be better than like the services you're paying for in the cloud that have less features, have limitations, cost more. So you can kind of see this is like the obvious direction probably software will go in a few years maybe. So what happens is each one of these is actually, you can click view. So the one I shipped with the default has some templates you can play with. And so let's go down through them. All right, so the second one shows you like an example of how to add logins. And so let's maybe go through the slides to go through them in like a structured manner. Okay, so bring your own data. Okay. So we're just going to call these jam sessions until anyone doesn't like it. Okay, and then so basically in server 3, there's an example where we show this like new kind of design paradigm for building AI tools or just building. So previously, you would it was actually hard to convince people to put data in the cloud. So when Salesforce was first raising their first 20 million, they raised it from my first co-founder, and he told me the story that it was hard for them to raise money because like the previous solution was like Siebel system, which my uncle actually worked at, and they were like all hosted locally servers and things like that, and they were all like secured and so people were afraid of putting their sales data in the cloud. And so it's actually hard to convince people to. And then Salesforce kind of exploded because of the efficiency for sales team and their own sales team actually. And so there is a lot of efficiency for putting things in the cloud. Like you can update software quickly, and yeah, you can update software quickly. But um, in the modern age, when you can imagine you can generate software like the bleeding edge software for free, a lot of that advantages kind of disappear. And it becomes more interesting to maybe bring your own data, have data that's like more secure, um, that can't be breached or lost. That's it's actually less risky in general and a better design. And the reason most people don't want to do it generally is because it's like a business issue. Like you don't make as much money if you don't charge for cloud services and things like that. So what we're suggesting instead is you can follow these like design practices where you bring your own data, like host things entirely offline. That's one way to do it. That's maybe the most extreme way to do it. You can still host things online and have like online services that you like charge people for. But you can have them allow them to bring their own like things like databases, bring their own database or credentials. And the no code version of this is to bring your Firebase credentials. And so one of the server examples is exactly this. It's an example of bring your own database basically. And so if you can think about this, you can build tools that are like as complex as Salesforce or Slack or HubSpot. Um, you can still maintain certain access to certain data, so customers would still want to pay you, even though they can generate exactly what you have, but also allow customers to bring their own data that you don't have any access to. And okay, and then so let me just show you how that might work. So in server 3, we have an example of this. So you can paste in Firebase credentials. You can do this many different ways. Like you can paste an API key or a password. And you want credentials that are like a JSON like this that you can get from Firebase. You can try it yourself. You have your own version of this actually, so you can get your own Firebase credentials and get this kind of like JSON. And allows you to paste this JSON there, and then like get your own version of this app. And so this is actually like a fully fledged Slack clone that like I can create channels in. We can go into them. We can send messages, and it actually saves them in Firebase. And so if we come back, it like stays there basically. So you can actually copy all the features of Slack, all the features that they charge you for, like unlimited messaging and things like that. Generate your own version just for your own business. Add your own like emojis. Add your own features only your business needs maybe. And it's 100% free. You can still like charge other people for it if you wanted to, but it's hosted somewhere. So people still have some of the benefits of cloud, where they're like a sales rep that's like plugging in a new laptop or something, and so they still have access to it. And you can bring your own data basically. So I really like this design. And so what we're probably going to do is turn Toy.new into this. It's kind of simple software right now. but actually publish examples of this as in these classes as we go forward. So next to class, we'll actually be building entire services. So we'll probably like do a poll, like what's the most annoying software you pay for? There's like really interesting things since we can generate both the front end and back end now. We can generate things like transactional email services, Slack clones, CRM clones, Monday.com clones that are like exactly all the same features with more features because they're unlimited and custom features for your business. And then leave them here so that you can take them and then add your own features and fork them and things like that. And or add your own, bring your own data and then use them as software. So it's kind of like GitHub for like no coders. So you can actually contribute if you're non-technical and things like that. Okay. So you can try this. This is in server 3 if you have server 3. And you can add features to this. Let's go back to my version. By just adding a prompt here and an open router key. So let me share an open router key so you can test out my like Claude 3.7 and try it yourself. So to start, you just need to unzip the latest Linux version or Windows version, open it, and then go to this IP address. And then I'll put a key in the chat you can use. Yeah, it works with Windows 10 too, yeah. So you can use this key in the chat after you open up this address and paste it in. And then you can do what we were doing in the last class with live mode and the Chrome extension, basically. And you can add features basically by talking to it, except it's going to use Claude 3.7 for all the features. So you want to enter a key here that I just pasted. And then here, say the next feature that you want. So say like add more animations, colors, and make it full screen instead. Okay. Then generate code with AI. And it's going to take like a minute or so to generate it because it's using Claude 3.7, but it'll go generate it. But then you have like 10 other ones here you can also start off in parallel. So it's kind of like actually having a team of software engineers. So that's actually pretty cool. So you can treat this as like a research lab. So one of the things of research is each piece of research is like a bet. So the more you can do, the more efficient you are. But also, you're better if you have like better intuition. So you can set each one of these off as like a version of your code. You can like copy the code that you want, paste it into this one. You can click save and apply. It'll update it, and then add features like 10 different features in parallel, and then test them all, and then see which one that you really like, or 10 different variations of the same feature, and then copy that one and then start again and then keep iterating. And that's actually, I really like that. So I was playing with that today. I have another server that I was keeping for like our own tools. And this is really even fun for me because we, for the first time, instead of like piecewise plugging it into chat and working with bugs and dependencies and things, it's editing both the front end and back end holistically as a model. And so it's harder for it to fail, but it still sometimes fails. I mean, definitely use the Claude 3.7. One thing you can do is you can copy the code out of here. Oops. And you can paste it into whatever chat you want to use. Oh, it's done. So when it's done, you just click save and apply. You can view the code and like see what it did. And then click save and apply. So it might break it, we'll find out. We're doing this live. Okay, and then so yeah, it's running. Nice. So if you remember, this one's smaller, this one's bigger. Ooh, it's a little bit fancier too. Nice little okay, wait, let me just see what's going on here. Ooh, what is that? Okay, the red thing looks bad. What? This okay, guys. We were wrong. It wasn't the red thing. Maybe the red thing is good. Oh, the red thing is good. Okay, that's funny. But yeah, it worked pretty well. See, so you can be like, you basically now have a team of engineers building whatever you want, including the back end and front end. And this is like very simple examples. We'll go over some more complex examples next. So server 1 is like a simple game. Server 2, it's this like login example. So you can actually register accounts. And let's see if I remember. Nice. Yeah, this is so it's actually using a database. And the interesting thing is you might be paying for like Firebase or Supabase or whatever, but this is 100% free. I don't know if it's like a Postgres or there's like many like SQLite or there's many. Ooh, it's loud. Okay, but it has the point is it has this high score table, which is kind of fun. So there's many databases like SQLite that are actually free that you can host locally. A lot of people don't know about. You don't have to pay for them and things like that. And I feel like a lot of indie hackers don't really know this exists. So you can add features like databases, user accounts, Stripe subscriptions, like literally whatever you can imagine. The most complex apps. Like I helped a startup that built like this complex machine learning product entirely in Python. And Python is good for these kinds of machine learning tools because all the machine learning models and tools like that are also in Python. So one of the cool things you can do is actually have it like if you have a graphics card in your machine, you can have it train a model for you and serve that as a model. I'm actually adding that feature. I'm adding that feature to the live mode where it'll use the local unlimited model in OpenAgent Studio as a backup. So yeah, so right now it uses no model if you don't put a key, but we can make it use the free Gemma model. I don't know how good it will be. I wouldn't use it. I would use it's worth it to actually use Claude because it's not that much. It's only like 30 cents or something per thing, and it does amazing things for what it does, for what it's costing, I think. So, okay, let's go through a few more examples of these. Okay, so, yeah, so that was an example of bring your own data. Oh, AI tools. This one's fun. Okay, so one of the templates is an AI tool. We'll do one from scratch just to show you how cool this is. So let's go back to my Linux thing. Which one is the AI tool? It's this one. Nice. Okay, yeah. So this is like a little simple AI tool. If anyone has like an idea for an AI tool we can use. I'm not sure if I can use the webcam because it's in a Linux server in the cloud. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I don't think there's a webcam in the cloud. But we can go to the address. So this server is hosted on your machine. Maybe that's like one of the advanced topics we can talk about like later. But you have the option of doing something called port forwarding on your router and having like a real domain to any one of these services, or putting it on a cloud server and like launching your service as an actual real service. And that's actually the way to do it normally pretty well. And so you can make it like production grade code is what I mean. There's like no difference between this and production grade code because all it's doing is running a Flask server actually. I mean, Flask is maybe not the best choice for like big services, but for ML and AI tools, it's awesome actually. So okay, let's go back and try an image just to show you how this works. Boats. No. Images, and we'll make one too. So anyone has an idea, I'll try to do it live or something to show you like it's a magic trick. Like it's not a magic trick, I mean. There's a lot of the stuff we're doing is now like it seems like magic. Okay. So Palm Beach, analyze image. Cool. So this is just like a simple AI tool. You can build whatever AI tool you can imagine, but this is just an example. I'll show you how to do it next. That it hosts the API key as a backend and only serves the front end. So it creates like an API backend and only serves the front end. So it's like a best practice. It won't expose your API keys. It's actually an API and things. Or you can make it if it doesn't, but it's rare it doesn't because it's Cloud 3.7. So that's pretty fun. What is this one? What about this one? Right, image tool, Firebase. We'll do a one live. Oh yeah, this is logins. Okay, cool. So let's do one live now. Let's make like an AI tool. So let me show you how I made that AI tool. I guess it's pretty useful. So you can make your own AI services. Like all the AI services you're seeing, they're all mostly built on these models. And they're like a UI built on these models. And a lot of the UI is not really that complicated. And now you have access to literally any UI possible because you can ask it to generate anything really. You can even paste in code or images. Oh, we should have an image. You can't paste in images yet, but we can paste in images. So this one looks like a clean server. So we're gonna add some features to it. So it actually ships with some templates you can edit and see. You can just make simple edits, like you can actually edit it like an editor. Microserver fun. And click save and apply. And it restarts the server. Sometimes it takes a second to restart, so you can refresh the page. And if you go here, where did it go? Hold on. Try it again. No, that doesn't seem like a good idea. Okay, let me just make sure I can edit things. Like, fun. Okay, good. And then, okay, there we go. I don't know what just happened. Maybe I forgot to push it or something before refreshing. Oh yeah, let it refresh itself. Okay, and then click save and apply, and then that should update it. And then now let's add a feature to one of these. Let's see. This one's empty. Oh no, this one's full. This one's empty. All right, let's use one of this. Okay, let me show you how to build AI tools. So OpenRouter is pretty useful for this because you can quickly switch to the latest model by editing it manually or um, asking it to add the models. So let's go to models, and so depending on like your use case, maybe you want to do image or PDF processing and things like that. I think I have Sonnet 4, but it didn't work for me. I mean, I have Sonnet 4 in our Vertex account, but it didn't work for me in OpenRouter, so there's something wrong with the. Yeah, I never figured out what was like wrong with my key with connecting my Google account, but for this use case, I just added credits and things. So let's just pick an image model. Some of these are actually free, actually. So wait, hold on, let me see. Are there any free image models? Yeah. So this is free. That's free. I don't think they're very good though. Oh, that llama's free. Maybe we should use this just to see what we can get. No, no. Let's do a good one, and then we'll try that one next. Okay, O1 Pro is good. Okay, let's try to use this one. And then go to API and curl. And so you don't need to understand the code, you just need to get a key in the API. We're going to copy this API and then go back to our management interface for server 5 and then type in update. Oops. Oh, yeah. If anyone had an idea, let me see. Oh, that link won't work. Oh, sorry. So the link should work only after you run the OpenAgent Studio. Maybe, yeah, there might be like some network setting. It will also show you in the console that let me see. Yeah, we can check later. So, oh, it closes after. Then it won't be opening soon. So there might be like some other issue with setting up. Then probably. It might be. So there could be like sometimes there's um like a antivirus that blocks certain files, or it's like you need like a Python. You have a like the Python version is like forced to a different version, so it's better not to have a Python version or Python 3.10 or oh docx. Okay, yeah, you can install docx. Yeah, pip3 install docx and things like that. Yeah, 3.10. And then let me see. I don't think there's any. I can go through like a Linux example. It's a little bit easier, maybe, because it's exactly the same. I don't think anyone mentioned. Oh yeah, the Slack phone. Okay, so I'll just pick one. Okay. Update this to add. Let me think. A web app that takes an image and writes the image using this API and key. Okay. And then I'm going to paste in the API from OpenRouter. Let's see here. Yeah, I can use that key or this key. I just create a key so you see how it goes. Two. Use this key. Okay. I'm going to generate that one. Maybe do a variation here. Let's do one here. Takes this and takes an image. Hi, this is done. Let me click save. Okay. Actually, I think it resets it when I save it, so I'll have to do the other one again. Let's see what it did here. Image roster. Okay. Let's go to okay. So, save image as downloads. This image. Hold on, let me see. Let's try to fix it. Okay. Okay. Well, I don't want to do two at a time. I'll just wait for this to finish. Okay, hold on. Okay, nice. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so what I just did was, so yeah, if it doesn't work, you just kind of describe the error or say what it did and what you intend instead, and it fixes it. And now we can maybe add features to this. So let's say now, update this. So it speaks the roast out using speakers. I don't know if the audio goes through. I wonder if that's a feature. Hold on. All right, it's okay. We can also go to the IP address, and I can show you how to do that maybe. All right. Update it so it speaks the roasting output using speakers. I can generate that one. I'm going to try doing this one in parallel. So let's see. Yeah. What would be a fun thing to do? Let me see. What are these models? Let's see what we have here. Oh yeah, perplexity maybe. Okay, maybe I can do one of those. All right, let's do that. Perplexity for where? I thought it was one of those. Perplexity, yeah. Okay. Researching Pro or deep research. That might be fun. Okay, let's see. All right. some. Let's do this. So update this to allow the user to enter their business email, not business website, or business name, and then use this API to research the business and suggest a marketing strategy. Hold on, someone wants to join. Let me just finish real quick and then we can let them join. And, oh yeah, my API key is already there. Hold on. I don't need to do that. So that's also a shortcut, I guess. Generate code. Okay, so yeah, I guess I can like save this, and I'm more interested in this output anyway. I guess we can add that as a feature maybe to make it easier to like run multiple ones at a time. I think what I want to add next is like version control and then automated updating so that like yeah, running multiple ones at a time works, but we can go back if we want to. So then we can just like quickly pop off a bunch of these. I'm actually using this to build or rebuild a backend. So you can build actually production grade quality. Oh, here it's done. Let's update. Let's go to 6. Business marketing website name. cheatlayer.com. Marketing strategy. Okay. Might be taking a while. I'll give it a minute. Oh yeah, someone wanted to join. Let's see, here's everyone in. Okay, cool, everyone's in. Let's go back here. This is still going. It might be the API is taking a while. Something happened. Hold on. Cheatlayer. Maybe see. Maybe try and update it. So let's see. It takes a while to generate description. Stream doesn't seem to generate. Yeah, okay. Let's run back while this is going. Okay, I'll let it fix it. Let's go. User accounts and strips. So for user accounts, I use this prompt. So maybe I can do this one real quick. So basically, you don't need like a fancy database like Firebase or Supabase or anything like that. So this one's empty, I think. Let me see here. Okay. So I recommend adding user data and all that stuff after you get it working. So first get like the riskiest assumption working, and then paste this in here. All right. Yeah, you might need to like install certain things in Python or something. Okay, hold on. So we need Python 3.10, but also you might need certain libraries. I can put the list of libraries, but we have like an image in Linux that's kind of easier and a script that sets it up in Linux. So I can go over like an example of Linux. Hold on, let me just test this. Let's see. Oh, I see. All right, save code and apply. Right. Yeah, Windows 11 is correct. Oh yeah, log in and register. Okay, cool. So we can register. Oh, it's already registered. Okay. Oh yeah, it's using that. Okay. So I can create like a new account. Cheatlayer.exe. Okay, so I'm now logged in as this user. And I actually use that feature to add like a high score table to a game. So maybe we could run like a game and then add like user data to that next or something as an example. Okay, so that's an example of adding like a password and user data to any one of these, but I don't recommend adding user data until you get like the riskiest part of it working first. So, okay, let me go back and see what happened to that little thing. Oh yeah, this one. Oh yeah, business marketing strategy. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. This may take a minute. Okay. I guess it added more things because. Oh nice. Oh yeah, cool. I did the streaming thing. Okay, cool. So this is actually very similar to the marketing strategy thing we have on our dash on our landing page. So this used the Yeah, Atlas one. So it actually did look us up. It used Perplexity to research us. So the Perplexity Deep Research OpenAI Open Router model allows you to like research businesses, build interesting tools like that. So okay, that was an example of like doing a full AI tool from end to end. We did a bring your own data example. We did a user data example. We can add Stripe subscriptions. Okay, so to add Stripe subscriptions, you basically just need to tell it to add Stripe subscriptions, and then you have to add your publishable key and secret key. So you would go to one of these after. I wouldn't add it first. I would add it last, actually. So after you get like user data and logins and like most of the riskiest parts of the tool working, then you can go back to one of these and then say like, yeah, add Stripe accounts, use this publishable key and the secret key. Okay, and so yeah, we can leave that there. So let's go through like a full example from end to end. Maybe like installing it on a Linux machine from scratch or something. Yeah, maybe we could do that. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so oh yeah, it needs the IP address. Oh, that's just it. Nice. There it is. Cool. Okay, let me forward the rest of these so you can use this server as like a testing bed if you have trouble setting up your own machine. But it's like it's possible and it's free. So eventually you can set it up on your own machine, and it's better that way. But hold on, let me forward the rest of these ports real quick so you don't have trouble connecting and trying them. So let's do one for port 10. Live mode 10. Okay. 5,000 down. So you don't technically have to do this on your local machine, but if you want to, you can actually expose IP addresses on your router, on like your home router. If you go into the settings, you can expose like port 5,000. Maybe don't do it if you're not an expert. Like I would like if you're just prototyping, just like it's totally fine to do it locally offline until you're ready to launch, and then put it on a server. And then if anything happens, the worst that happens is like the server goes down or something. Oh, hyphens. Okay, 5.10. So 10 should work here. I should soon. I don't know. Let's see. Do this. Oh, interesting. said it right? Oh, I did deny. Whoops. Okay. Oh wow. Oh, instances 0. TCP UDP. Okay, allow. I don't think that's right. Why I can't do that? Try it again. Okay. Nice. Okay, this is back now. So you can try so you can register an email and try the typing test. Okay, there you go. Great. Let's see here. Let's add maybe subscriptions or something. Yeah. I think we've gone throughout most of like the end-to-end setting things up. So we can go back here. So yeah, we've done like a full example. Let's see. You can add more features and things like that. Basically, that's the same process again and again, doing the same thing again and again. Okay, cool. So there's a few products here. I'll like enable the rest of the ports so you can play with this example. Let me put this server up so you can keep testing it if you have trouble doing your own thing. And let's see, let's put up the server here. Testing. Okay. Okay, cool. Alright, that's good. Stripe subscriptions, user accounts. Okay, forming teams. Okay, so to form teams, basically in the next boot camp, we'll go like building it like a few more entire products from end to end. So maybe like Slack or a CRM. I want like maybe a transactional email service like Instantly. That's like more AI oriented, like with AI responders and things. Like all those AI SDR tools, I think we can pretty easily clone. Their defensive mode are typically like the data, so it's actually pretty easy to generate these like autoresponders that use AI models and things. We had one actually. I think we can build probably a better one. So yeah, next class I'm actually gonna build like serious tools, or maybe before next class we'll do some live streams since everyone has access to this now, where we'll build like entire products from end to end. So like I mentioned, we built agents base actually using worse tools entirely, including all the phone automation stuff. So we have like I have dozens of phones next to me that are actually automating. I think it's in the middle of uploading a short now. And I didn't write any of the code for all of the phone automations and things. So you now are very close to like almost exactly like the same level playing field as me. You can generate anything I can build. The only difference is like what you choose to build and what I choose to build. So it's like you start to understand that like the idea is more important, is like really most important sometimes, like finding the idea, spending time on finding the idea, things like that. So what I would do is in forming like your team, you can use now live mode, the Chrome extension, the this new live mode 2.0 from the latest like adding backend features and things like that. You usually don't need to go that far. You just need a landing page to show people like what the idea is and convince them that it's like a problem to solve worth solving, and then get them to pay for it. So post that on LinkedIn. Include hashtag Bootcamp Season 5. Tag me so that you can attract teammates. So actually, you don't need to. The teammates don't have to be entirely from the course. They can be outside the course, and you can pull in like friends, people that you want to work with, things like that. And yeah, oh yeah, tag me. So submit it by tomorrow by 9 p.m. Eastern, and so that will give me time to like collect everyone and send out like a message. I think a few people have submitted already on LinkedIn, and then send out a message with the links to everyone that's submitted so that you can review all the projects, pick one that you might want to work on, and it's totally you can also work on your own if you want to too. That's fine. So okay, so let's do one more competition for this week. Well, forming teams is by tomorrow, so I just have to generate like at least a landing page. You don't have to generate more than that, and we just need the link to it shared on LinkedIn. Let's do another like a homework competition for this class. So after you get live mode 2.0 working, you don't have to host the output anywhere. You can put it offline and things and run it locally and stuff like that. Or you can even use my server to generate this output. We just want a video. Like if you like in the worst case, you can just use my server and generate it. And then I just want to see a video of the output server that you build, including a backend and front end. And it could be your MVP, and it should be using an AI, like an AI tool. So it should be using what we taught today with the OpenAI, like perplexity model. So one of the tools we did today was the roasting tool, things like that. So those are pretty simple examples. Like the prompts are in the slides today, actually. So you can try it out using my server. You don't have to set it up yourself, but try to generate something interesting, and then just record a video of the output. So after you get it working, you want to click View Server. And the only server 1 is working. Hold on. 1 and 10 are the only ones that you can view right now. So edit 1 or 10, and let's see, 1 works, or it should. Oh yeah, to get to them, you need to get to the IP address. So IP address, then port number. So hold on. Okay. Oh, yeah. There we go. Okay. So let me share these links in the slides. There's a place here. Okay. Server 1, and then server 10. I'll add the other ones. Basically, you just change the port number at the end. Server 10 is live. I can do them after the class. That's fine. Okay. So you can use these servers and this link to basically generate your output. You can generate an entire backend, front end. Like you can actually generate a really complex service. There's a very few limitations here because like even if you hit the context window limit, you can use the tricks that I taught you in the first class where you're asking like you can paste the code into a chat like into like OpenRouter chat or your chat GPT chat or this is the Vertex AI chat and then have it generate things that are unlimited context. So actually the limitation for this homework assignment is there's no limit. You can generate almost anything, but it's hard to generate complex things very quickly. You still have to do things usually step by step because the models are just not good enough yet to do things really complex completely in one shot. Usually you need to start like the riskiest assumption, then layer in stuff and things like that. Okay. So we're just looking for a video, record a video, same thing, post it to LinkedIn, tag me. Um, post to LinkedIn. Bootcamp. Okay. There we go. Hi guys. Okay, so that's it. Let me maybe go back and answer questions. Okay, let's see.